Matthew Williams here, just bringing you a little video from Google Earth. And look, it's Groom Dry Lake. And Groom Dry Lake is the place they call Area 51, where they have the flying saucers, apparently, so we're told. And anyway, I thought I'd go and have a look, because I haven't looked into this for a while, and I've actually visited the place in person. So I thought, well, I'll fly down and go and have a look at what the runway's like, and check the thing out. And I was quite surprised, because when you get down there on Google Earth, now this is Google Earth, by the way, not just normal Google Maps, but guess what? Somebody's taken the time to actually put in buildings and stuff. So wow, look at this. It's like Tesla coils or something, sort of weird stuff going on there. And then they've got the rest of the base, look, and it's all cleverly done here, so that they've got all these different hangar buildings, and you can just imagine what sort of secret stuff is stored in there. And you've got other little buildings and hangar buildings, and you got this hangar with the wide doors, sort of some sort of big aircraft in there. And yeah, well, basically, somebody's made a bit of effort to actually draw in this stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. And up here, look, you've got these tall lights, and you've got these buildings here. Now this is kind of interesting. Look at this for a bit of fun, right? So if you come down on these buildings here and look at them, they're sort of, they've got doors on them and windows. Okay, so just notice that, and doors and windows, and you've heard the term compartmentalization. Well, look, each one of these is a little compartment. So it's a little compartment, and there's loads of them. There's fucking loads. In fact, look, hey, we're inside the secret compartmentalized building. Look, I wonder if we can look around now we're in there. Yeah, no secrets inside, unfortunately. But if we come out and we have a look around, look, there's loads of these buildings. So I don't know if that's kind of somebody's experience of what is actually there. But then I noticed this. Now this is freaky, right? Now this just kind of tells me that there's something not right with this. Yeah, look at this building here. Look, it has stairs. It has a stairs and a balcony, and it looks like a little hotel. And if you look at the size of the stairs there and the doors, and then what I noticed is that if you come up here, now this is the spooky bit, right? This is do 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 do. Right, look at the size of these doors on the building here, right? Now bear that in mind, and let's move back and look at the size of these doors over here. Look at that. Look at these doors, are tiny, and the windows are tiny. And look at these ones, they're fucking enormous. Yeah, which proves undeniably that Area 51 is being used by 15-foot aliens. Okay, because you can quite clearly see the discrepancy in the size of these doors here for the aliens compared to these doors over here, which are obviously for humans. So Area 51 is some sort of like alien base for Nibiru type beings that obviously live in a lower gravity and therefore are a lot taller than we are. So let's have a look at some of the other features. We've got a few bits and pieces here. I don't know what this is. Oh look, it's a loading bay. Look, loading bays. Hey, for supplies. We've got the water towers. It's quite interesting. And over here we've got some sort of upward facing satellite dish, which is obviously positionable. And then we've got this other type of satellite dish over here. There we go. And what's this? Some sort of stacked up building. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Don't know what that is. Stacked up aerial array or something. Somewhere around here there's the control tower, which I thought was kind of funny as well. Oh, here we are, control tower. And I think you can even get down onto the floor and look in through the doors on this one, sort of. There you are, look, see? Whee! So that was kind of interesting. And then I thought, well, S4, Papoose Lake. Let's go and have a look at that, because that's where Bob Lazar said the shit was. So that was the stuff to do with the alien base, with the stuff in the side of the hill, the doors that basically you couldn't see because they were blended into the hill. So if you come out of here, now the thing to notice is main roads out of Groom Lake. Now there's this road here which goes around, but if looking at it you can see that basically there's two main roads. There's this one which goes down out of the base here, and then there's this one which sort of heads off to this point where you've got a hill and you've got water towers by the looks of it, and they're using like gravity fed water towers on the tops of the hill. At least that's what it looks like. I'm not entirely sure, but so you've got that road there, and that goes off into the distance. And if we have a look back up here and we sort of scale out, you can see it goes off way up into the distance here, and then it eventually, I would imagine, comes back around on 375, which is otherwise known as the Extraterrestrial Highway. There we are, see? Extraterrestrial Highway. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so these are farms here, so you're back out into normal sort of locations, and then you know this road continues on, and I suppose somewhere down here you'd have Rachel, Nevada. I'm not exactly sure where that would be, but anyway, fuck Rachel, Nevada for the moment. That's probably like Whitesides Mountain there, which people sort of now view the base from, which is like in this direction, and it's very hard to see the base. The base is kind of, is that it? No, it's even further out. The base is a long way away when you're on Whitesides. So let's get back to the base. Where's the base? There we go. Is that it? No, I've lost Groom Lake now. What we do have over here, which is kind of interesting, well, there's Papoose. This is, don't know which one this is. It's got some buildings next to it as well, so it's obviously some sort of facility. Oh, hey, it's got a big fence around it as well. I don't want anyone getting in there. That's quite secured compared to Groom Lake, which doesn't have a fence around it, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? You know, Groom doesn't have a fence around it, but this one does. So what do we have here? What do we have? We've got a base. We've got some sort of buildings here. Just kind of interested in what's around. Road that goes up over the hill. A little lake. Anyway, right, coming back to this, if we scale up a bit and we have a look around for features, I seem to remember that over here, I think we were quite near it. Here we are, bomb. This is near the bomb facility. The reason you can tell that this is where they were testing nuclear weapons is because you can see from above the crater marks that are there from all these bombs that have been let off, and there's loads of them. But I thought this was kind of cute. This was really cute, and I couldn't get over this. Right, if you scroll in, have a look at the bomb sites, right, and now spin them sideways. Look, they're fucking 3D. All the bomb sites. You can tell they've been bombed out because this was nuclear weapons, because there's fucking enormous craters in the ground. Oh my god. So this is where all these nuclear bombs have gone off, and I think that's just fantastic. Somebody's gone to the effort to actually put that into Google Earth. Anyway, so where's Papoose Lake? Let's have a look. Scroll back out. So there's Groom, and I got a feeling that this is Papoose down here. But what I wanted to know was if it was supposedly a place where they had these sources in the side of the hill, you'd have some sort of road, because they would be using it to kind of get cars back and forth, unless of course they were just going underground. But I thought, well, let's have a look at the roads here and see which ones are kind of commonly used and how well used they look. Well, this is obviously dirt track roads, and these are roads which are in use for the base, for the aircraft. And if we come and have a look at these roads here and we see how they compare, now you can see the size of that road there. So if you follow it down and around, it does indeed go off in the direction of Papoose, which is down there. But watch now as we follow these roads. Yeah, that's like a main road to the right. The one on the left is not quite so interesting, but really it does it goes off into this hill. Let's have a look at that. So let's go and have a little look, and it goes off, and then you've kind of got this mountain pass road which goes up here, okay, which is for people to look down on the Groom base. Yeah, and it comes all the way to the top, and you've got some sort of facility on the top which is, I don't know what it is, but it might be photographic reconnaissance of the whole Groom Lake area, because that's really quite a good photographic spot there. You've got the whole of the runway going from all the way up there all the way to down there. It's fucking huge, but you know, you've got a nice photo reconnaissance spot. So that's that road. That's what that road does. So let's go back down the roads and see where else they go. So that's that main road, and then we come back out onto the junction. We're facing Papoose again, as you can see. Ignore this yellow line on the right, that's a boundary marker line by the looks of it. But if we move in on the road that we can see, it does indeed head off towards Papoose Lake. So, but it doesn't look, you know, it might be deceiving, but it doesn't look like a very good road. But then it sort of heads in towards Papoose Lake, and then it veers off to the right, so it's heading off. Now, let's have a little look around. Now, can we see mountains here? Because these UFOs are supposed to be stored in the mountains to either side. So there's mountain ranges just to the back of Papoose Lake. But what roads can we see? As you can see, that road kind of really doesn't want to go into Papoose Lake. It kind of goes across this desert bit, which is a bit shit. Maybe that's a road, but there, I don't know. But if we head up along the edge, kind of looks like it might have been used as a road. It's sort of that, you know, you've got the different colours of sand here. Maybe, maybe not. But all the way up to the hill, and I can't really see anything in these hills that looks like it's a doorway. You've got these scratches here, but it could just be, you know, natural feature. And I mean, I can't really see anything in that hill that looks like a doorway. They must have done a really good job if they were kind of hiding it. But there's a little bit of a road. Look, there's a road that comes off the desert, and it goes up into these hills, and it sort of comes back around. But these are more mountain tracks than anything else. It kind of goes through the pass there, and sort of maybe ends up there and doesn't really go much further, you know. So I'm not seeing anything there in those mountains. So where else? Right, where's Papoose again? There's Papoose. What other mountains have we got nearby that kind of could allow for this to be adjacent to Papoose Lake and still in the running? So Groom Dry Lake is there. What other mountains have we got that kind of could be figured in as the S4 site with the alien spacecraft in it? Well, as we saw, we drove in on this road, but then the road goes off to the side. So let's follow it down to these other hills. So you're kind of you're veering a little bit away from the original Papoose now, but you do have some more hills. What do you think about this area then? I don't know. Doesn't look like it to me. What about on the other side? No, it doesn't really look like a kind of doorways into the side of the hill, but you know, what about in these hills? No, doesn't look like it either. So I don't know. I mean, you could miss it in the detail, but I mean, considering you can see down to a car on Google Earth, you can actually see things down to a car. There's something square there. Don't know what that is. Little square. Doesn't look entirely natural being a square, but What about these sides? But you see, there's no roads per se, and you'd imagine there'd have to be a road. Well, that kind of looks like a dirt tracky bit, maybe, but I don't think so. You know, these are kind of water. This is where water has run down. You can see it's water channels, and it just spreads out as it comes onto the flat plains. You know, so there you go. It's just spreading out. So it's not really a road. So not looking good for that particular site. So we've tried over there on those hills, and we've tried these hills. I mean, you can go to the other end of Papoose Lake, which is the far end. You've got these hills here. It's kind of like a plateau on the top there, which is kind of interesting. It's like a flattish sort of plateau type hill. Again, no roads, and no real roads on these that I can see. So, not looking too good at the moment. And we're kind of at the end of Papoose Lake now. There do appear to be some roads here. Let's have a look at these then. So we're at the other end now. Right, Groom Lake is way away from us in the distance, as you can see. But if we come back and have a look, this end, yeah, you've got some roads. Look like some roads going through some riverbeds, and we've got hills that could kind of, I suppose, be described. And these are water channels from a river source, you know, coming off the hills, water runoff off the hills. So it's not really roads, I don't think. Not really roads. Let's have a look again. Spin it up. So you basically got this range of hills then. You know, there's all the water channels. There's a road that kind of, there's two roads there that come off. So what about these hills here? Look, there's a road. You're coming down onto these hills. What are these marks here? No, they maybe kind of look natural. I don't know. Don't look too unnatural. It's kind of at the base of the hill. Marks. Yeah, could be natural. Could be natural. That's a photographic change line where the photos have been seen together. So our hunt hasn't really determined anything yet. Now you've got low ridgeline hills here, and again, you know, and these are the hills that really do adjoin and still face Papoose Lake. You see, so we're still qualifying as being a hill. Can't see anything that looks like a road that's going up to it, or hang on, oh, there is. What's that? Is that a road, or is that a river line again coming off these? It might be tracks. They may be tracks, but they also look like they could be riverbed lines. You know, they seem to be following the lowest points in the valley. Well, I don't know. Not an easy one, is it? It's not an easy one, but if anybody can find anything which looks more interesting, I would be interested to hear. Now that looks like a cloud shadow on the ground from that cloud there to that point there. So where's Papoose? There's Papoose, and we've had a little look around these hills. Anything on there? There's a little track going up there. Not good. But, you know, I might be missing it. I might be missing something. I do want to see if there's any sort of bunkers into the hills that might qualify as what Bob Lazar said was there. So if that's Papoose and that's Groom, where the fuck is the stuff that we want to see? So if you can find anything interesting on Google Earth, I would be interested to hear your findings. Thank you very